the reason why I choose to quit is that there are two types of passion that drives athletes towards reaching goals. Um, I'm studying psychology, so I'm talking about this point of view. You have harmonious passion and obsessive passion. And when you have harmonious passion, you want to work because you love the work you do, and you want to be better because you want to be better. Like, I work more because I want to be better, because I want to be better. I feel good in being better. And then you have obsessive passion, is that I work because I need to be better. So people want me to be better, or I think that it's very important to be perfect, or at least I have no values. So for me, Olympic Games were something very harmonious. Like, I want to get there because it's so cool. It's the biggest event in the world. I want to be part of it. And of course, if I go there, I want to try to win a medal. And in my personal story, that was kind of a problem, because when you won the medal, um, you don't, there are different philosophy of approach. So if you want the gold, you are prone to risk to lose the bronze. Okay, so you have to risk to get the gold. You cannot say, let's do what is safer and
all
hope
or
for the
nothing,
bronze.
almost.
Let's go all in.
Yeah.
I mean, Olympic bronze is so good, but if you go safe, probably you don't get the bronze also. So apart of that, after that experience, I was thinking about myself. I was thinking about, okay, I really want the Olympics. It's 4 years, I can do it. I just pause my studies, I pause everything, I focus on this, I go to the Olympics, and then start living again. And this is obsessive passion. It's literally the obsession that cuts every other trench of your life, study, personal well-being, physical well-being, and I go all in on this. Yes, I will, in 4 years, after 4 years, maybe I get the tattoo, and then life starts. So, okay, I can live without that tattoo, because right now my passion, my harmonious passion, is on something else, and I didn't want to transform that passion in something that was obsessive, and that would have left me with a better memory from sport.
That's a brilliant answer. So I just had to say that, Freddie. I know you got something to say, but that's an amazing answer. I love the breakdown of harmonious passion and obsessive passion. I've got a similar theory in my head. Same kind of vibe, but enthusiastic commitment and constrained commitment. Exactly the same thing as what you just said. But yeah, amazing answer. Sorry, Freddie.
No, not at all. I mean, it'd be almost cool for you to go a bit deeper on that yourself, because I like that you guys have connected on that.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, with the enthusiastic versus constrained commitment, yeah, same kind of vibe. Like, what's the reason that you want to commit to a certain task or goal, right? Is it from yourself? Is it inherent? Is it internal? Does it excite you, or are you forced to participate? Are you forced to commit because of some kind of external validation or external reward? So for me, my participation in diving was always enthusiastic. It was always driven internally because I wanted to achieve my goals for me, and to prove people wrong, yes, but for me, for my own, satisfaction. Whereas Freddie, actually, for example, straight away, being British, being on funding, being supported by the Aquatics GB, Bracelet at the time, and the UK sport, it becomes more constrained because you're paid to do it, and to stay on funding, to continue getting the money, you have to achieve a certain result. So straight away, your approach to training is because you have to, because obviously you want to achieve these certain things, but to even achieve that goal of the Olympics, you have to do this to get onto the programs.
I would say that to get paid for doing sport is very good. I mean, I'm in the police, because in Italy we have the military groups have all the sport groups, so I'm in the police. So I was getting paid for swimming, and this is good because of course it lets you be calmer with the studying and everything else, but also it can change your motivation, because when you start getting money, you start thinking, can I lose those money? So your motivation that at the beginning could be a performance approach. So I want people to be wrong. This is a performance approach because I want to do something to prove them wrong, or I want to learn a new skill. This is, I want to master a new skill, and those are good motivation because it makes you stay enthusiastic and harmonious. But as soon as you start having fear to lose something, so I need to train because if not, I lose the money. Or I don't want them to be right. It's the same thing. I want to prove wrong. I don't want them to be right, but it's different point of view. So if you start thinking about what you don't want and you want to avoid that, this is different, and it pushes you toward obsession. It pushes you down because you tend to, if you are afraid from danger, you see danger everywhere. If you are eager for success and achievements, you see opportunity everywhere. So it's literally the same thing. You still swim, train, dive, whatever, a lot of hours every day. It's the same pattern of behaviors, but from two different point of view. So yeah, of course, when you start running away from something, or you start fearing for losing something, there you need some kind of, rethinking, intervention on your own and your motivation and whatever.
Yeah, this is so interesting, and Yona, I think you are absolutely right with what you're talking about my position in British diving. I think there was definitely obsession there and fear of loss and a lot of stress, and I think a lot of those there were times in that, particularly through winter training, of not not being that happy around training because of maybe it's this more obsessive behavior and focusing on some of those the more negative factors rather than that internal drive of I want to do this. So, Giorgio, I mean, what do you have advice for younger or current athletes on this kind of philosophy, on what you would advise them to do and think?
So I would say that since you came from diving, I came from artistic swimming, we have some difficulties more, because in swimming, you have the time. So if you touch first, you're first. If not, you're not. In our sport, you're judges. So sometimes it's something else that decides if you win or not. And this is kind of, it can mess up with your mind. It can mess up with your mind. So what I would say is that you for something, so for someone doing our sports, you cannot control what the judges do. You cannot control what scores you will get. What you can control is what you do, how you do your movements, and how much you I don't know how to say. So the ideal goals for living in a healthy way is to have mastery goals. So I want to learn to do something that I wasn't capable of doing before. So I want to learn a new dive. If you want that, because then the judges will give you higher score, it's very likable to be deluded, to be, to not achieve that goal, because it's someone else that will give you the score. So I want to learn this new dive because it may give me an advantage, but because I really want to improve as a diver. I want to learn to stay more time under water, no breathing, because I want to be a better artistic swimmer. Then this may or may not gives me better scores. I don't have full control on that. I can raise my probabilities of getting good scores, but I cannot have, guarantees. But I want to be a better artistic swimmer. So that will be my advice. So really focus on what you want to be able to do after a certain period of time. So this year I want to be able to do this stuff, And this may or may not gives me better positioning, better scores. And of course, I will be happy if it does. I will be less happy if it doesn't. But I will value myself on how I did my work to reach this new skill and get this new mastery. And it's very difficult because we love our coaches, we esteem our coaches, and if we have coaches that see this mentality, it helps us. But some coaches really see only results and medals and points. So if that's the case, that's no shame in seeking help. So there's a lot of competent people, sport psychologists and mental coaches, and of course you always have to be very careful with that figure. You want to have someone that's very well prepared, but that's no shame about doing that. A lot of people really think it's if you need help, you're not strong enough, but that's right the opposite. If you are capable of understanding that you may need help, it's super strong person that does that.